Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to my day one port review of Yooka Laylee. This is developed by Platonic Games, one of the ex-Rareware developers. It is published by Team 17. We're looking at the PC port, which is 3.3 gigabytes to download. It includes Steam achievements, full controller support, Steam trading cards, Steam Cloud, and Steam stats. It's currently available for $39.99 US or your regional equivalent. Alright, so I backed this game on Kickstarter a while ago, and initially I was only going to do a first impressions video on it. I wanted to judge it based on its own merits. But within 5 minutes, the PC port of this game genuinely pissed me off. I could not believe how many mistakes, rookie mistakes, were in this port to begin with. And it's really surprising considering that this game was developed for PC initially and then ported to consoles by the publisher Team 17. So it's really mind-boggling how a lot of these little issues got past QA. Now, one thing I will point out is that the game runs very smoothly, at least on my system. I'm running an R9 390 with a 4790K. You can check out the full specs of my system in the description below, but it runs really smoothly, and that's the one thing they got right with this game. Everything else, well, where do we even begin? Alright, so for starters, let's talk about dialogue and the voices. So, when you start the game, the single-player mode, you are greeted to an unskippable cutscene. You cannot fast-forward through the dialogue segments either, and the dialogue segments are grating to say the least. You might have noticed them through the menus over here. When you scroll over, they just talk to you, and they don't really talk, they just go... And the problem with this is, not only does it start to grate on you, you can't turn it off unless you want to turn off the sound effects as well. I understand that they're trying to be like Banjo-Kazooie, because in Banjo-Kazooie they did that for the NPC dialogue, but it would be really nice if they gave you the option to turn it off here. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and you sit through a lot of dialogue in the first 3 minutes of the game, and it gets a little bit aggravating. So, yeah. Now, later on, you can, outside of cutscenes and certain events, skip through dialogue very quickly. The problem is, of course, that it's all random. Sometimes they let you skip through it, sometimes they don't, and yeah, it is a little bit frustrating to say the least. Alright, so heading on over to the options menu here, I do like the fact that when you change your resolution, it just does it on the fly right here, which is really cool. You have to obviously hit select before it changes, which is nice. It's not like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, where it just changed the resolution as you're scrolling through all of them. Good amount of resolution options here, and yes, you can go beyond 1080p. I was going at 2560 by 1440 with max settings, and everything was running rock solid, so that's just great. Quality, yeah, these are the only presets you have for your graphics, although credit to them, it does at least show you what you're getting out of it. There is a bit of stuttering and loading here, but yeah, not too bad. Again, the game does run really well, but I really would have wished that they had separate graphics options, maybe in a patch. Full screen on or off, no borderless windowed mode, unfortunately. VSync enabled and half VSync. I'm assuming this is double and triple buffering VSync. Now, the biggest issue I have right now is the controls. So, you might notice there's Xbox 360 prompts in the menu right there. If you want to hit start, you have to hit enter, escape is B, and A is select, which is a little frustrating at first. Now, the game does have keyboard prompts in the tutorial, but there's no mouse prompts at all, despite the fact that while, yeah, there's no mouse control in the menu, there's mouse control in-game, surprisingly. And when it's saying, like, okay, hit Z to do your basic attack, I'm like, oh, I can't use the mouse? You actually can. Z is actually left-click, your basic attack for the mouse. The game never tells you this, though, and there is no way to rebind your buttons. Also, the in-game menu does not have graphics options at all. You're pretty much having only these control and sound options, which is a little annoying. You have look sensitivity over here, you have crouch toggle, roll toggle, that's for your abilities, vibration for your controller, invert camera Y, invert camera X. There's not even a graphic that lets you see what buttons do what for your 360 controller, your keyboard, or your mouse. It's really feeling unpolished here, to say the least. Alright, enough about all that. Let's get into the game and see how it looks, because it does look pretty nice. Alright, sorry about all the cuts and jitters you've been seeing in the video so far. It's because of my software, my capture software, and my audio recording setup. Something's just been going foul. But anyway, we're switching over to AMD Relive right here, which is a video capture software that is exclusive to AMD cards, and really all you need to know is that it does impact the CPU a bit, but it's not going to impact a game like this too much. Performance issues. As you can see right there, the GPU is at 100%, whereas the CPUs are generally below 40, and the game is still running a rock-solid frame rate at 1080p max settings. I'm getting well above 144 FPS, which is really nice. Now, there are a couple issues I've been noticing with the game. For starters, you might notice that it's a little dark right now, despite all this lighting in the room. And there are a couple shadow issues. If I walk over here, okay, that's not a good shadow right there, but if I walk over here, see, there we go. It's a little weird like that. I'm not sure what the difference in lighting is over here. Maybe it's because of the tree, I have no idea. There's also some occasional grady shadows I've noticed. You're really going to be having to look for it if you want to see all the little issues, the graphical issues with this game. Unity does have its share of flaws, and this is one of the better performing and looking Unity games I've seen. If we go into the world over here, you'll notice if I can remember the button, there we go, it's F. Sometimes it's space for certain interactions. It's a little annoying. If we go over here, you can notice that the loading times are very, very quick. About 4 or 5 seconds. And now we're in a different world. Pretty cool, huh? And you're also noticing, ooh, bright, colorful, yes. This pleases me. So, a lot of people have been complaining about the lack of enemies and just stuff in general in the worlds. Now, I can't say anything about the later levels, because I have noticed that too in the trailers. But for the first level right here, it's not too bad. There's a lot of foliage, there's a lot of trees, there's some enemies running around. Not a lot of enemies, obviously. It's not trying to be Dynasty Warriors or anything. And it is a platformer first and a combat game second. I mean, you really only have one attack in the beginning right here. It controls very well, surprisingly well, actually, for playing on the keyboard, despite the fact that, yes, I did criticize the controls. I really meant the technical side of the controls, and that the PC-exclusive problems of Xbox 360 prompts and just a bunch of other little issues just really bother me, because there's some really cool things about this game, and I haven't been able to dig really into it because the PC port has just been on my mind as of late, and I really had to just push out a video on this because I wasn't kidding. When I started it up, I was genuinely annoyed with it, and now that I've gotten past all the unskippable bullshit, I'm at a point in the game where it's pretty cool to play. Or at the very least to explore. The music's really nice. Again, I can't comment too much on the overall gameplay, but I will say when you get past the initial issues of the PC version, as I nearly kill myself there, it's not too bad. But the dialogue can get very grating. The controls will take a little bit of fiddling at first to get used to, especially the camera. It did take me a second to get used to that. Especially at the beginning. I feel like the camera at the beginning in the tutorial area is way worse than it is now. For some reason, it's a lot smoother, but it is a little bit jittery still. You're noticing this here. I'm slowly moving my mouse back and forth, and it just feels really bad. But it's not unplayable. I should mention that. This is not a terrible, terrible port. They've gotten a lot of things right, like performance. And the fact that you can use a keyboard and mouse and play it just fine is really, really nice. I really hate it when developers don't let you use mouse at all. You have to always use gamepad when the mouse is perfectly acceptable for playing even platformers. But yeah, anyway, that's it for me, guys. Sorry about all the little audio issues and hiccups here and there. Once again, this is captured on Radeon Relive. I backed this game on Kickstarter, and is it worth $40? I don't know. PC port does need a little bit of extra work, though. But it will run on pretty much anything. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm out.